looking to become a better leader, whether that's in business, in sports, or in life, and you haven't found a book yet to help you get to that game-changing aha moment? Well, we have the book for you. Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership. Tighten the Lug Nuts will help you get to that game-changing leadership moment. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and iBooks, or at 360managementservices.com. That's the number 360managementservices.com. Pick up your copy today and start changing your leadership styles.
Now it's time for the show.
Do this look like work to you? Nah. Looking at the lights like it's all of this for me. Everyone tonight is here. All of this for me. Hands in the air, yeah. All of this for me. Bottles over here. All of this for me. All of this for me. All of this for me. Light fast, light flash. All of this for me. All of this for me. All of this for me. Bottles bringing bottles out. All of this for me. You for real?
What's up, Romo Sapiens? Welcome back to another edition of the Rome Show here on December 16th.
16th.
That
not
is
the 18th.
correct. Confirmed, thanks to the calendar on Google, my phone, and my computer. I am Andrew Romanella. Sitting next to me, back in his comfortable saddle,
Much more comfortable.
my brother Rocky Romanella. We are the Rome Show. We are going to take you all the way up until the 8 o'clock hour here at Hamilton Radio, hamiltonradio.net, channel 2, and facebook.com/The Rome Show.
Yes.
Yes.
I like it.
That's where we want to send all the people to the Facebook. Of course, you can go to andrew.romanella and get it there as well. All that we ask is that you share it and you comment in on the show. If you want to get in on the show, call us, 609-807-2492. We have a plethora of topics on the table today, from Eli Manning to some trades in the NHL, which I know is going to fire you up.
Oh, yeah. Listen, very exciting times right now in sports.
We have a deep dive into why we believe the New York Football Giants are no longer as good as they used to be, or at least since their Super Bowl winning season, that is.
Listen, this is a real-life hypothesis, a.k.a. theory, maybe factual evidence
This
with
is real.
support.
With support that somebody brought up very drunk at the Giants game on Sunday. And, of course, a little Army-Navy recap. Patrick Reed's caddy is looking to be in the MMA, and so much more. Again, I can't stress enough. You can join the show.
Anyway,
Calling in 609-807-2492, or how else?
Facebook live chat us.
Yeah, or Twitter at Wide World of Rome. All right, here's the deal. Straight off the Rome today is coming straight from Boston, Massachusetts. More specifically, Foxborough. Because here's the deal, all right? My bold statement today, and I'm not going to call it a hot take because a lot of people have said it all day, but the Patriots' legacy, in my opinion, after this whole video scandal, is 100% tainted.
I mean, it's just number 3 of, right, 3 times they've been caught cheating now, right?
This is Spygate 2.0.
This is Spygate. We've got Videogate.
Yep.
And, there was Deflategate.
So we have them all. So here's my feeling on this whole situation. Okay, Rock? You might agree, you might disagree, but I'm going to give it to you right now because I've been fired up about it. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, might be living under a rock, have no idea, or maybe this is the first time you've thought about talking about football this year, whatever it is, Romo Sapien out there, the fact of the matter is this is the third time, as Rocky just stated, in the history of the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady era that the New England Patriots have gotten caught cheating. So to me, okay, when you film the sidelines of a Cincinnati Bengals practice, okay? And if you want to watch the video, go find it on Fox Sports. Legally, we are not allowed to actually play that audio and or video because it's not our property. But go watch it.
And we'd be cheating if we did, so.
Because it's 8 minutes of them filming the sidelines. The camera guys sound like they're doing something very, very illegal. Caught by Bengal security, submitted to the NFL, and soon-to-be punishment coming down the NFL. And to me, Rock, at the end of the day, now it's the New England Patriots dynasty was great, but it's no longer that they were just great.
No, I mean, listen, the Patriots are always going to have a tainted history. I mean, it started with Spygate. I mean, Spygate was the first thing that really did it. And then Deflategate just kind of was just like another thing there. That was like 2 years of just nonsense.
And then they kind of like pinned that all on Tom Brady.
Yeah, no doubt. And the worst part about this one is like you listen to the guy in the video, and it's literally like it's like the Shaggy song. He's just like, "Oh no, that wasn't me."
Yeah.
This is like, nah, it wasn't me.
But I caught you on the counter.
Yeah, wasn't me. No. I caught you videoing the sideline.
Literally.
Nah. I didn't know you couldn't do that. Is what the guy said in the camera, like on the video.
And the security guard literally responds with, "How do you know you can't do that?
Yeah.
Like, how do you not know that? You're filming."
And they're supposed to be filming like the advanced scout.
Yeah,
and the whole time he's like, "Yo, that guy's not in the video."
He's like, "What are you trying to get?" And the security guard responds with, "What are you trying to get out of this video?" And he said, "Video of the field." And the guy's response is, "That's the sideline." So go take a look on Fox Sports. I think you'll agree. And Rock, here's my comparison, okay? Because it's not just about hate for the Patriots. Because here's the facts. And you're a coach by nature.
I love the Patriots.
Okay? Their success, the way Bill Belichick coaches, Tom Brady's run to being the greatest quarterback of all time from essentially being almost undrafted into the NFL, that's all beautiful stuff. And people who come from a coaching background love it. Regardless if they hate the team or they don't, they respect it. Like the Yankees. You might be a Mets fan, you might be a Red Sox fan, but you got to respect the 27 championships if you truly respect competitiveness and professional sports. So I respect it, but it's hard. It's hard to continue to respect it when there's one team, one, in the NFL that keeps breaking rules.
No doubt. And think about it this way. If the UConn women's basketball team,
Right.
100%, right, like that's it, because they're just as dominant, right? It's tough to compare college and pro and two different sports, but that's just what you have to imagine. Like, take a dynasty, and then hey, every 3 years on your way to winning 10 championships, you're getting caught breaking the rules.
Right. And so here's my thing. What's wrong with what Barry Bonds did? Because in theory,
Absolutely nothing.
Right, because in theory, Barry Bonds was never proven to have taken steroids. He never tested positive for a steroid test, right? Yes, he was hooked in with the guy that did Balco, and there's a lot of things that point towards the direction of Barry Bonds. And I know everyone's initial argument is, well, look at his body. See how much his body has changed, right? But at the end of the day, he never tested positive. And we're talking about a franchise here who has won 6 Super Bowls. We revere as the best franchise of all time.
They've tested positive three
times. 3 times. And you're going to tell me that Bill Belichick has no idea?
A-Rod's never even tested positive.
That's a good point. But he also tried to sabotage like people's lives.
I guess if you mixed in like 3 cheating scandals and then Robert Kraft at like at an unmentionables club, yeah, what kind of organization are we running up in Foxborough?
100%. So if I'm gonna, and I don't hold that against Barry Bonds. I think he should still be in the Hall of Fame. Heck, I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. But like, I don't understand how in one sport essentially it's okay to break the rules, and we almost like, all right, we'll punish them, and then like we'll move on and we'll still revere them as great.
Here's what I'll say though. Did you watch Belichick and Saban on HBO last week?
No, I need to.
Because if you watch it,
You'll respect it again?
you might think it's not Belichick.
Really? But at the end of the day, though,
Like he's got a clip in there, and he's kind of more old school than you thought. Like he's like he's telling a story how he gets on the plane, and he's like, all my assistant coaches are all over their computers and they're looking at their technology, and like I got on the plane, I looked at him, I was like, guys, we can't tackle.
and it's just like as honest as possible. It's
Yeah.
just like, we suck at tackling.
Yeah. So I don't know. A part of me really loved him in the show.
But I loved him in the Two Bills documentary too, where it was him and Bill Parcells.
Oh yeah, I loved him that too.
I don't not love him, but at the end of the day,
Yeah, listen, the proof is in
because if
in the
that
gates.
is a directive down from, let's say, the football operations department, and you're Bill Belichick, you receive that tape. Whether you know how they got it or not, you know that you shouldn't be using that.
Here's
tape.
what I will say though: this is the first time the Patriots were like, "Yeah, we messed up."
Yeah, they kind of openly said
Hey,
it.
that
Well,
was-
but if you listen
Every
to
other
that
time
tape,
they're like, "Nah, you
No.
guys are. It wasn't me."
right. But this time, it was only the camera guys that did that.
Yeah.
And if you listen to them, it clearly sounds like
I think. Listen, they do a good job. They've always got a scapegoat.
they do. Maybe that's part of it. It's like they know that eventually they are gonna get caught, but they have it set up so that when they do, it's like, oh man, it was some guy that just happens to be the football carrier for 15 years that brings the footballs from the locker room
Yeah,
to the
seriously.
field, takes them into a random room that no one knows about.
Let me crush that guy's text messages on my phone too.
So
by the way.
listen, that is straight off the Rome for today, December 16th. Even though we move on topics, if we strike your interest, 609-807-2492. We got some people chiming in on the Facebook. We appreciate it. At Wide World of Rome on the Twitter.
Yes.
All right, here's the deal. I said something to you over the weekend. You didn't agree with me. I still don't agree with you.
Are you talking to me or the fans?
I'm talking to you.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And maybe the fans. Okay, the fans know. Okay,
What did
the,
you say to me?
The Romo Sapiens might feel me here. Okay, I said to you that it must be a rule that if you coach a service academy, i.e., Army, Navy, okay, you have to play the oldest brand of football that has ever been known to man.
Oh, because they have to run.
It has to be a rule because watching.
It's not a rule. They do it all the time.
Why?
It works.
You're telling me that we can't get a kid somewhere in America that wants to be in the Army or the Navy that's a good quarterback?
Navy's 11-2.
I know, and they're ranked.
And Roger Staubach played in that game.
And he was a quarterback.
Yeah.
Did he throw the football?
In the NFL, he did.
He did it at Navy. I just.
Yeah, but he learned how to manage an offense and move an offensive line.
But
Guys are the man.
Why though?
Because why does it matter? I can't get to the BCS championship.
So
I can't get to the BCS championship if I'm Army or Navy. So let me go run the ball, play some old school smash mouth football, have some fun doing it, and be awesome.
And I guess the idea must be is that you're gonna get people to come there no matter what because you're not really coming there for football first.
But they're playing football.
Right.
They're not playing like football.
So what you're saying is they're playing football at the core of the way it was first originated.
That's right.
And you enjoy that.
I love it
Why?
because it's classic.
I watched
It's you know what it is?
2-minute offense.
They're not
and they
playing.
ran
They're
the
not playing.
ball.
They're not playing. They're not playing. They're not playing on turf either. You know what they're playing on? They're playing on the gridiron.
I mean, don't get
That's
me
the
wrong.
gridiron out there. That's not a turf field.
If you look at the videos on Twitter, it's super cool. The game
They should
is
only.
awesome. It's
They
the
should.
greatest
Oh, the
game
game's
ever.
incredible. They
It's
should
awesome.
only. They should actually only allow the game played on grass too.
And no one should be allowed to. I mean,
People throw the ball. They throw the football.
once. I guess my real question just was, is it like a rule? Like, does it come down from a higher power that says, like, we only want this type of football played at Army and Navy? Or do you think we're going to randomly, like, 4 years from now, be watching Navy having a guy go, like, 14 for 27, 283, and 3 TDs through
I just
the
think
air?
you know what? I give them kudos for playing to their talent.
Yeah, it's fair. I
Right?
disagree, but it's fair.
Listen, they're playing to their talent. That's what they got.
Yeah, I know. I
wonder. You know what?
Curiosity.
I wonder if we looked at. First of all, Army was playing with their third string quarterback.
they were, and they played really well in the first half.
So there's that. And then I wonder what the high school stats are for the starting quarterbacks for the last 10 years for Army and Navy were.
Whoa.
Were they gunslingers in high school?
Well, I wonder if they were even quarterbacks because the guy that started for Navy this year, A, is the single season's rushing leader in Navy history, but B was their starting running back last year, or
Oh, wow.
or
That's
slot
impressive.
back.
That's
He was-
impressive.
He was a slot back, I think, last year or something like that. He wasn't even a quarterback,
Oh, he's Cordell Stewart.
essentially.
Well, Cordell Stewart went the opposite way.
But so to
or
answer-
what was it, Amendola or Edelman that was a
A
quarterback?
bunch of guys have done it before, but at the end of the day, Tim Couch tried doing it; it just didn't work out in either position. Either
Well,
way,
he got drafted by the Browns.
yeah, well, that's a whole. You love crushing the Browns, love it. To answer your question, I don't know if they would have high school quarterback stats.
Nah, they might. It's possible.
It's depending on the guy.
Yeah.
You're probably a guy in high school that did throw the ball, but it was like 6 times a game, like the gunnery.
No, that doesn't count.
We ran the wishbone, which is equally
So
the
does that's what
same.
Navy and Army
I
won.
know!
They had 3 guys. I mean, listen, I saw the Giants run a fullback dive yesterday.
Yeah,
Very
and the Giants
unsuccessful.
are 3. Yeah, and they're
Very
3
unsuccessful.
and
It was
11.
3rd and 1, and we lost 4 yards.
So, you would rather watch that, what we saw Giants Dolphins.
I just like
Or Army, Navy.
I just like how could you not like with the build up? Like they had a former player who's now I don't know if he was a captain, an admiral, what he was, but he was on College Game Day, and he's like, you just don't understand. He goes, it's not like a game that I'm playing. He goes, every single play is for the championship of the game. Like that's how intense it is. So
It
when you
doesn't have-
when you have that kind of hype out there, like you have to control it in some way.
Yeah.
And running the ball is that way.
So you believe that that's how they're controlling it?
Listen,
is the hype
there's
of
a
the game?
classic coach. There's a classic coach. His name was Bud Kilmer. And Bud Kilmer coached for the West Canaan Coyotes. And Bud Kilmer said, if we run the ball, control the line of scrimmage, control the clock.
And Bud Kilmer also had his team pretty much impeach him at halftime of a championship game. And then they threw the football and won the game.
Yeah, 5 wide receivers. Billy Bob had a big block on the punt return there.
Well, Billy Bob Billy Bob cried because, well, Billy Bob's a bit of a crier.
Yeah, there we go.
And Tweeter drank beer because, well, Tweeter drinks beers. Well, that's our Army-Navy recap. I'm curious if we'll ever, in my lifetime, see an Army quarter or a Navy quarterback throw the ball for more than 10 times in one single football game.
I would just like, you know what? I'm actually.
I
More
wish I could put a
interested-
bet on that,
I
like
think
a lifetime bet.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm more interested in how many people get as excited for that game as we do.
That's a good. Well, I think a lot do because I think this is where college football. I'm going to give them kudos.
Classic gridiron.
Classic gridiron game, but they do it the week after the regular season and championships end in with all the major Power 5 schools essentially.
Yes.
And they before the bowl season starts. So essentially, and everybody woke up on
kicks off the bowl
and
season.
everybody woke up on Saturday and was like, "Man, like no college game day, right? Oh no, we have Army versus Navy,
Yeah.
which is just as cool as anything else."
And by the way, in 8 hours after the game's over, you're gonna get the Heisman.
Right, which Joe Burrow, shout out. We'll get there. We'll get there a little bit later on in the show. Yeah, and I would love to go to the game. Truthfully, like that's a bucket list item for me. Like when I talk
Let's
about
go.
sporting events that I'd like to go to, bucket list item would be Army Navy.
I think we have to compile. I think next week on the poll, let's compile a list of 5 sporting events that we should record a show from.
That's a great idea. Because I heard that you can request media passes like for all these events. And,
Really?
like, pretty much. Obviously, you're not going to request a media pass at like Augusta for the Masters and get in.
We got
but,
friends
like,
that could get us media passes.
I think if we chose, maybe, but I think if we chose like game 97 of the New York Metropolitans, we could probably get media passes. Like
no,
you just
we can't.
request them.
We're not going to go to game 97. We're going to go Yankees Mets.
Yeah, but do we get media passes for that?
Why can't we just do it from the Pepsi porch?
If anybody, Rube, we're going to City Field. We're going to do a game in the summertime. If anybody listening to the Rome Show has some connections with the Mets or the Yankees, 609-807-2492, because
Get us in.
I would love to do a show from the Pepsi porch. That's a great idea.
Pepsi porch, and then we could do.
December 23rd, we'll maybe we can try and pick one from each and then the New York Red Bulls. Is that what they're called still?
Yeah, we should definitely go to Red Bull.
We should go to a Red Bulls game. We should do it at Red Bull Stadium.
No doubt. I'm all in on that.
I've promised a few times on this show that I would go to a soccer.
We
game.
have to go.
We have to go. All right.
By
so
the
we'll do-
way, wait. Did you see Georgetown? The Georgetown soccer goalie who made the save in the 13th round of the shootout for the national championship?
No.
Sick.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that the FDU
Suggested.
I know that the FDU Knights goalie did that. It wasn't the 13th round, but it was sick. He was on
Yeah, awesome. It happened this weekend. And then last weekend, the girl from Stanford.
I saw that.
That was good. Yeah.
Yo, and she was a boss too because she celebrated hard.
Oh, yeah,
after
she
those
went
goals.
right after
that
the
was
camera.
a sick. What was it? North Carolina they played.
Don't know. I just
Yeah.
know Stanford won.
Yeah, Stanford UNC. Good. We really should get some more soccer on the show because I feel like every time it comes up we talk about it.
Listen,
Well, you're an average Premier League guy, so
Yeah, a little bit.
Sunday morning,
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Premier
But I'm
League.
actually more into. I like the La Liga.
Can you tell
I like
people
the Spanish league.
before we move on to Patrick Reed's caddy trying to fist?
Oh, this
fight,
guy's a joke, by the way.
Trying to fist fight people in the crowd. Can you explain to people your soccer watching experience with your mother-in-law?
Oh yeah, so that's great. She's in town. Sunday morning, 2 weeks.
We should get some audio of that.
No doubt. Actually, well, I think we should have Jonathan Murillo on the show.
Oh, and maybe he could talk about wiring the system for the Jets and the Giants.
He could talk about that, and he could talk about because he goes to
All the
probably
Tennessee
5
games.
to 10 Nashville Predator hockey games every year too.
He's all over the Nashville
He
sports
is.
scene. All right, that's to be determined.
No doubt. And listen, in our study of fanship nationwide, that's a great person to talk to.
That is a great person to talk to.
So anyway, mother-in-law Colombian, and she fluent in Spanish. So they came to visit us one time, and I was finding something that we could watch together on TV. And when I ordered my sports package, I wanted all the sports network so I could watch the NHL network. Well, what I found is that I also got Bain Sports Network, which is the Spanish sports channel.
Love it.
So I get every La Liga game every week. So I can watch Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid
English,
every week.
Spanish.
I get it in both channels. So even now, like yesterday, or Saturday morning, I threw on the Barcelona game and I was like, Sophia, we're going to watch this game in Spanish so that you can get, I want you to get better at speaking Spanish.
Right. So you got to hear it, and that was the time for her to hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we should employ on Sophia what Jen's parents employed on her. I think she should only speak Spanish to Sophia, and you should only speak English.
Jen's
to
listening
Sophia.
right now. She's like, why are you putting so much pressure on me?
Because I
Just leave
want
me
my
alone.
goddaughter to speak Spanish to me. That is why.
She's gonna get
Everyone wants that.
She's gonna get to a point where she's gonna make fun of you.
Yeah, that's fine. I've had that. I played baseball. I've had that happen before. I actually got thrown in the back one time. I'll tell that story some other time. But Ramey
Story for another day.
Ramey caught some guys talking, shit about me in Spanish, and then
Ah,
never
cool.
told me. Got pegged in the back. Well, that's awesome. So if you ever want to listen to a little Spanish soccer with Rocky, Sunday mornings, La Liga, Bain Sports Network.
Gotta love it.
In Spanish. So, for those of you that may not know or might not have listened to or watched, the President's Cup over the weekend, the President's Cup being the United States golf team, essentially, led by Tiger Woods, some handpicked by Tiger Woods, plays against a team of golfers from around the world, not Europe, right? It's pretty much essentially how I understand it.
Yeah.
Because then that one's called the Ryder Cup, so that's when they play the team versus Europe.
It's definitely getting confusing with the cups.
It's very confusing, but at the end of the day, the President's Cup was played against the world, and Patrick Reed's caddy got into a little bit of a altercation, we'll call it, with a fan. Okay, some backstory on this. The week prior at the Heroes World Championship, Patrick Reed made national headlines, especially in golf, for moving sand behind his golf ball, which is cheating.
Wow.
In the Professional Golf Association, okay? Because you're not allowed to touch the sand before you take a sand shot.
Nope.
He was docked 2 strokes, essentially lost in the tournament,
Dose.
and 2 of the world team players were a little harsh on Patrick Reed and said, I hope the Australian fans, which is where the President's Cup was being played, I hope they're hard on him.
So and from whoa, we just that
was surround sound.
That was pretty crazy. Oh my gosh, damn. Actually, I think there's stories about Patrick Reed cheating in college too.
Yes, there's a lot of stories about him
Yeah.
cheating. If you do the deep dive, especially on Twitter, because Twitter trolls love that stuff.
Yeah, it's been following his whole career.
So the caddy's name is Kessler Kerrane. So
I think it's his brother-in-law.
It is. So for the first 3 days, they gave it to Patrick Reed out in Australia. Okay, so the caddy.
We're talking like Sergio Garcia, Bethpage Black, like
Yeah,
10 years ago. We're all over you.
Yeah, we're talking like Shooter McGavin hires a guy to hide in the woods, and Happy Gilmore throws his golf club.
That's right, yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
You
So,
will not make this putt.
jackass. Okay, so Patrick Reed and his caddy are in a golf cart, and a fan runs up and he says, "You effing suck." The caddy then gets out of the golf cart. Now, this is after 3 days of getting just absolutely slaughtered by
I
fans.
know. That's what he chooses as the one that sends him over the edge.
Right. Gets out of the golf cart. He says he shoved the fan. The fan says he punched him in the face.
Love it.
So, there's 3 sides to every story. Most likely what happened.
And this
then
guy's
theirs.
side is so bad.
It is so bad.
He goes, one of your jobs is to protect your player.
Yes, right. Which is funny because we're talking about golf here.
From what, dude?
From what? Right. So here's his official statement.
From the rain, because you're holding an umbrella in your bag.
That is Kessler Kerrane, the caddy for Patrick Reed. Here's his official statement. As a caddy, one of your jobs is to protect your player. And unlike several sports, in golf, fans can get pretty close to the athletes. We have been known for having fun with some good banter, but after hearing several fans in Australia for 3 days, some had taken it too far. I had enough. And this gentleman was one of them. Riding on the cart, guy was about 3 feet from Patrick Reed.
Why are they riding on carts, by the way? I thought we walked on the PGA Tour.
Great question. You effing suck. I got off the cart and shoved him. Said a couple of things, probably a few expletives. Security came, and I got back in the cart
Favorite line right here.
and left. I don't think there's one caddy I know that could blame me.
Except all of them.
Unless his bones break like Mr. Glass, the most harm done was a little spilled beer, which I'm more than happy to reimburse him
Wow.
for. End quote.
That just a pure fantasy.
So Kessler Corain, your opinion on him now is what?
Is you suck.
2 words.
Like seriously though, like that. My job's to protect my player.
Okay.
Like, dude, are you an enforcer?
Now here's the thing. I'm going to defend him.
Is your name Stu Grimson? Is your job to protect Paul Correa when you're on the ice together? Like, come on.
I'm going to defend him in this light, though. Some fans do really deserve to be punched in the
No,
face.
I'm not saying that there are not
I'm not
dumb
saying his
fans.
actions are right, but there are some
Oh,
fans that
fans are
deserve a
awful.
right hook in the face.
No, absolutely no doubt.
If you would have came out and told me he made a comment about his wife and his family members and maybe just crossed the line too far, and then you told me you got out of the cart, which great point there, why are we taking a cart in golf, got out of the cart and then punched him in the face, I might understand that more than that 3-word line with which he said, which sent off Karain. That's just the one thing I don't understand. But it just brought up an interesting question in my mind. Does golf have an issue here?
No,
Will this get worse?
no,
Why not?
because this guy is acting independently. He's by himself. It's not like they attacked one guy. Everyone was equally mad at Patrick Reed. Golf's mad at Patrick Reed. This makes everyone's argument against Patrick Reed that much better. Because why would this guy act? Like, golf is a game of respect. Like, golf's the gentleman's game, right? So if you're acting in a true golf manner, in a gentlemanly manner,
Right.
you're not reacting to the accusations. You're playing a good round of golf, and you're not letting anything get to you, and you're showing up with a win for the U.S.
Right, 100%.
Right? But the fact that this guy can't take it, going out of his way, is like he's being wronged. Anytime anyone acts like that, it's usually because they're in
the
made
wrong
a mistake.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like the Patriots before. If you come in here with no baggage, well, then it's a different conversation. Because, okay, this is the first time anything's ever really been a controversy with Patrick Reed. But like you stated, in college he's had issues with cheating, and in the pros he's had issues with cheating.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens here. Do they ban the caddy from the PGA? Do they tell Patrick Reed it's mandatory he gets another caddy? Like, do they suspend him? Because caddies matter.
I'd suspend
in
him
golf.
I'd suspend him for the whole 2020 season.
The whole season,
Yeah.
and then
Because
he's got to
because
go through reinstatement.
I'm suspending the caddy longer because I need to jab Patrick Reed too.
Yeah, A, and B, I also think that no matter how bad it gets, at the end of the day, unfortunately, if it's hard as it can be, you need to be the bigger person. And, Branch Rickey spoke a lot about this in the movie 42 when you talk about Jackie Robinson, and he essentially asked Jackie Robinson at the time, how thick is your skin? How much can you handle? Now, I know that's a different type of problem that they're dealing with. But at the end of the day, the point is, how thick is your skin? If you're going to enter this arena and you're going to be this scrutinized by people, can you handle it? And at the end of the day, you have to be able to handle it.
Dude, players get taunted all the time. Come on.
But it's not. And I guess that's my thing. Is like, I just tell the caddy get out of here, because it's not like if Patrick Reed punched the guy,
By the
we got
way-
real issues.
By the way, Janoris Shankins no longer on the Giants for yelling back at fans.
Right. And over the course of sports history, we've seen a lot of altercations with fans where
But
people will.
But like, seriously, like, you
Go at
suck.
'em.
You suck. That's what's gonna set you over the line.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, you suck.
Like, that's why I'm like, can you dock up some of the other things that people were saying to you? Like, can somebody else can somebody else come out and say like, oh man, I heard this statement.
Yeah.
Or like,
he
but
said
no
something
one's
about his
defended
wife,
them.
Like his kids.
No
like,
one,
no.
not one person has come out. So I don't know. I don't think, to answer the question too that I asked before, I don't think golf has a problem either, but
Nah.
we are in an era where I do feel like people are more apt to feel that they can spread their opinions and say whatever they want whenever they want it. So I do believe this will always continually happen in a sport where people are so close.
Yeah. Of
I mean,
course.
you're literally a hand's touch away from golfers sometimes.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, most of the fans are golf fans, so they understand the ethics.
I mean, part of me wants to go to a golf tournament and just be a guy that yells stuff. Not like this type of
No,
stuff.
get in the hole.
Yeah. Just like I'm always the guy following one golfer the whole time that always screams like, get in the hole.
I mean, listen. So we're going to Yankees Mets. We're broadcasting from the Pepsi porch, and we're gonna go to a PGA Tour.
So we got Mets, we got baseball, soccer,
Let's go to Liberty.
golf.
We should go to the Liberty
in
National
Jersey
Tournament.
City.
Yeah.
I'm in for that. I'm in for that. Rube, we're gonna we want to pay some bills here real quick before we flip to the second half of this show. All right. We're gonna come back on the back end, Rock. Okay, and I want the fans to chime in here. 609-807-2492. We still have a lot going here on the Rome Show, December 16th. Andrew Romanella, Rocky Romanella, taking you all the way up until the 8 o'clock hour. It is 7:32 here on Hamilton Radio. Chime in on the Facebook. Facebook.com/Andrew.Romanella or Facebook.com/The Rome Show. We are trying to trend towards Facebook.com/The Rome Show. So share it from there. Please tell your friends. Tell your friends. We will be right back after we pay these bills here on Hamilton Radio. Are you looking to become a better leader, whether that's in business, in sports, or in life, and you haven't found a book yet to help you get to that game-changing aha moment? Well, we have the book for you. Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership. Tighten the Lug Nuts will help you get to that game-changing leadership moment. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and iBooks, or at 360managementservices.com. That's the number 360managementservices.com. Pick up your copy today and start changing your leadership styles. All right, Romo Sapiens back here on the Rome Show. You know, just remember, people, okay? We could add to that sponsorship right there. Like, we don't have to only pay the bills with one sponsor. We could pay the bill with 2, 3, 4, or even 7. I mean, so if you want to, right, email theromeshow@gmail.com, okay? Email the Rome Show.
Oh, we have a phone call.
Yes, we do. And you can get yourself to be a sponsor here on the Rome Show. Or, hey, you could call in like the person we have on the line here, and you could just tell us over the line. So, caller, you are on the Rome Show. Give me your name, and what would you like to talk about?
It's your favorite employee, Romo.
Is this Stephen McCrossan?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Stephen, how are you, sir?
Oh, I listened to this guy. He was on 2 weeks ago.
Yes, he was.
Nice.
Big Philly guy. Stephen, what do you got for us today?
You know, man, Eagles won yesterday, so, you know, still in the hunt. Gotta love it. Philly sports are killing it right now. Yeah, man, you know, just doing that. And then I also, you know, I know you were excited when I picked my top 4 athletes of all time, so, you know, I was trying to talk about that, too.
All right, so here's the deal, okay? So Mr. McCrossan wrote in on the Instagram. And, you know, Steven, this is how much we love you here on the Rome Show. You know, we're going to do fan write-ins in about 10 to 15 minutes, but because you called in.
Because you're on.
We're going to dissect your 4, okay? Here's the deal. Ready? All right. I'm going to give it, Steven, here's what we're going to do.
If any Eagles are on this list, they're canceled.
No, this is so great. This is so great. Steven, I'm going to give him to Rocky. I want his opinion, and then I want you to talk about it, all right? Here's the deal. Steven writes in, his 4 top athletes of all time are Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, Derek Jeter, and Joey Chestnut.
Agree on all 4.
Do you?
Yeah, of course.
Steven, what brought you to that decision?
I love that Wayne Gretzky hit your list, bro. Nice job.
I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously you got to look at, you know, when I look at the sports, and you got to look at who are the best ever, you know, obviously Jordan's up there. You know, basketball, I feel like, is one of those sports where you have so many, you know, options with, you know, Jordan, LeBron, Shaq, Kareem, all those guys. But, you know, I still think Jordan reigns supreme over all them. You know, when it comes to Derek Jeter, I mean, same thing. Anytime you hear baseball and think of great players, Jeter's name's right there. You know, being during my era, that was the top guy I got to see play. So, you know, that's what works for me. Obviously, Wayne Gretzky, 2,857 points over his career. I mean, That's untouchable.
Great stat.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah. I mean, that's just and, you know, hockey's one of those sports you could talk about, you know, any great players, you know, Mario Lemieux, you know, Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, you talk about all those guys, but no matter what, Crosby reigns supreme. And then, you know, Joey Chestnut, you know, reigns supreme over all of them. I mean, what guy can eat that many hot dogs at one time and not be considered one of the greatest athletes of all time.
I think you're spot on. So out of the four major sports, Steve, who do you think produces the best all-around athlete?
Ooh, out of the four I picked, or just in general?
Well, just in general. I mean, because think about it. You've got some people who are listening right now and that said, "Oh, hockey doesn't count. Hockey's not an athlete. They can't run, jump, or whatever." Then they're saying basketball is better than football, so you can't really compare. And then you know they're saying like stomach expansion, doesn't really compare to jumping and running. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking about all around general, I mean, the top two you got to think of are Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson. I mean, those are arguably
good ones.
If
Great
not
point.
the top two all-time greatest athletes.
That's a great point.
Just their ability to play multiple sports at a high level. I mean, I think if Bo Jackson doesn't get hurt, he blows Deion Sanders out of the water. But it is what it is.
I mean, isn't Deion Sanders the only dude to play in like a World Series game and an NFL game in the same day?
Same day?
Was it a World Series game or a playoff game?
Either way, it was the postseason.
Well, yeah.
He flew in from I think it was from the NFL game to the World Series. Or
I think it was back-to-back days. I don't
No.
know. It's same day?
Same day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was the same day. Yeah, I just forget if it was a playoff or World
Yeah.
Series. I mean, either way, it was still ridiculous.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a good point, Steven.
I mean, that might be. I mean, is that top four worthy though? Like, should Deion and Bo be up there?
I think if you're going individual sport, no. But I think if you're going overall, like out of like a complete athlete, yeah, they're definitely the top two.
Yeah, right. Because if the conversation's athlete, right, Steve's got a point. But if it's best in your sport, now you're talking transformative, who moved the game forward, all that BS.
and
But-
stats.
Yes. But this is, I mean, is this an athlete question?
Because then I would, and this is going to touch close to Steven's heart, but I would almost put like Randall Cunningham in there. Do you put Michael Vick in there? Like if you're talking about the best athlete.
We got a write-in from a fan that said The Rock in WWE should be on the list.
Oh, that's not a bad one. See, you would almost have to make a list of sports that aren't really sports that are sports. You know what I'm saying?
How athletic do you need to be a wrestler?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's true. You got to be an actor too.
I mean, if you look at some of the, obviously you look at some of the best wrestlers, of the times, they were all very good athletes in college. The Rock was a D1 football player. Kurt Angle was a national champion wrestler. Like, you look at all these guys and it's a fake, some people say it's fake. Some people say it's, because of how athletic they are and all that. But in the end, those guys are athletes. Like, it still takes a lot to do a backflip off of like a 5 foot off the 5 foot rope or whatever it is.
This is a good point, Steven. Here's the deal. Before we let you run here, I got two questions for you, okay? The first one is, are we making this a weekly spot or what?
I mean, I feel like we are at this point.
I feel the same way, so this is exciting. Secondly, do the Eagles beat the Cowboys?
Dude, is that a question? Hammer the overall.
I want a score prediction right now. I know it's 2 weeks
Ooh.
away, but I want one right now. Is it 2 weeks away or is it this
a
week?
score prediction?
It's next week.
It's this week, right?
Oh,
Coming
yeah,
up.
it's Sunday.
So I am right. Are these date things messing me up?
I'm gonna say that's a tough one, Romo. You put me on the spot.
I
here.
know. This is great.
6-6
I'm gonna go.
tie.
Shit. I'm gonna go 24-21 Eagles with a last-second field goal by Jake Elliott.
Wow. Wow. That's a bold prediction, my man. I like that.
Hey man, you gotta go with it.
You do.
Gotta stick with the leg. I mean, he did it to the Giants once. He's done it to the Redskins however many times. Cowboys are due for it at one point in time.
Is this game in Philly?
Yeah.
Wow, that's huge.
Oh,
Steve,
dude, it's gonna burn. If they win, it's gonna burn to the city. If they lose, it's gonna burn to the city. It's gonna be a great time.
I'm going to propose that you go to that game and you call us and live report us. We record it and play it on the show Monday.
Yes.
Romo, you already know. I'll be at McGillen's Pub in Philadelphia. One of the oldest pubs. It's the oldest pub in the city, one of the oldest in America. some true Philly fans down there. So, we'll have a good time. We'll give you a call from down there.
That's what I'm talking about. Steve, dude, we appreciate you calling into the Rome Show, the weekly Steven McCrossan spot.
All right, Romo. Perfect. Well, then I'll talk to you later. You guys have a great rest of your show.
Thanks, babe. We appreciate you calling in.
Wow, just a great sports individual right there.
Dude, honestly, I said this last show.
And I don't like Philly fans.
But you like him.
No, he's got some good perspective.
You're right. Oh, well, you're only going to give him good perspective.
Yeah, because he has terrible fan choice.
Honestly, I said it last show too, and I promise you, if he is going to call in every week, I won't say it every week. But one of the better human beings, Steven, you've ever met in your entire life.
Listen. I look forward to meeting him in person.
We got to get him on the show.
That'd be great.
Steven, if you're still listening to the show, you need to get on the show. You got to look. There's a bunch of seats next to us. We need to get you into the studio and chime in. He's got an interesting score prediction there. 24-21 Eagles versus Cowboys.
Nothing would make me happier than a tie.
6-6 tie. That was pretty funny. So what happens if they tie?
Then they're both 7-7-1, and it goes down to the last week of the year.
Who has the tiebreaker at that point then?
Then they would both win. Then the
I guess the
tiebreaker
Cowboys
goes head to head, and then it goes divisional record, which would be the Cowboys.
Because it sounds like to me like if the season ended today, the Cowboys would be in, correct? So they must hold that first tiebreaker.
Yeah, because they won the first game.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're hoping for a tie, because that's hilarious.
Or I'd like, oddly enough, if the Eagles win, then the Cowboys lose, or then the Cowboys win in Week 17, and then the Eagles lose to the Giants,
right.
And then it'd be a tie again. They'd both be 8-8.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? That'd be so funny. Well,
Yeah.
Steven, we appreciate it. If anyone else wants to get on the show, 609-807-2492. We had this planned already, but one of Rocky's top fans, one of Rocky's top Romo Sapien fans, Mr. Fissel, wrote in on the Facebook asking about this, and I know coming into today, you were pumped that Joe Burrows won the Heisman for LSU.
I thought he was the only person who could win.
And you've been saying it, I think, for like 6 weeks to me now.
You're telling me that there's no other players that could have been up there except Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts.
See, that's where I disagree, and I agree with you. I disagree with college football.
Yeah.
I love Joe Burrow. I agree.
Like Jalen Hurts and Justin Rose Justin Fields had no chance against Joe Burrow.
None
So
whatsoever.
why not parade the next best athletes up there?
Yes, like Taylor, the running back for Wisconsin.
That's right.
Who is the FBS's all-time leading rusher. All-time leading rusher. Didn't get an invite to the Heisman Trophy.
How do you not get that guy up there? Why aren't you showcasing the Heisman?
It makes no sense, and I get it.
And why do I got to sit through interviews with the parents and the guys? Like,
Yeah, I
honestly,
agree.
just tell me the Heisman.
Just tell me the winner. Let the guy speak. By the way, his speech was phenomenal. He essentially told LSU that he needed to give Ed Orgeron a lifetime contract. He even thanked, and this is how great of a human being Joe Burrows is, he even thanked Ohio State for their contributions to his career, which I thought was pretty cool and super classy of him. He's a super humble kid. If you have a chance, go listen to Joe Burrow's Heisman Trophy speech. But I agree with you. I think when you go into it almost knowing this dude's going to win, now, just so everybody knows, I think you know this too, but Joe Burrow's essentially received 90% of the first place votes, go ahead.
And I would think Chase Young should have received the others.
Yeah, 12. Or actually, no, it was Jalen Hurts in second place.
Which is dumb.
And according to Jay Barbanel, who just wrote in, he actually agrees because he literally just wrote Chase Young. But that 90% is essentially the Mariano Rivera of the Heisman Trophy voting. It's the best that has ever happened in college football. He broke, the passing yards record. He's about to break the completion percentage record in the SEC. He's doing an unbelievable amount of things at his time at LSU. But to me, this Heisman Trophy was less about the guy that won it and more to your point about, what are we doing with this award?
It's like they were more excited about celebrating that every one of them was a transfer and not, who cares?
And I don't.
And the kid from Wisconsin should have been up there.
And here's the thing. I think the Jalen Hurts narrative comes from his time at Alabama. That's what I think.
Yeah, and you could say that, yeah, exactly. Which
because
I don't.
It's a great story. Why?
And by the way,
why is it a great story?
And by the way, you're going to sit here and tell me that Alabama is the best program ever in the history of the world, and then tell me that the kid who couldn't cut it should be a Heisman Trophy winner?
That's what I don't understand. I agree with you to the nth degree. That is one look. I'm like, this makes no sense to me. This guy got benched at Alabama, and we're celebrating. Listen, I respect the heck out of Jalen Hurts.
You could argue that Jalen Hurts would have lost. Like if he didn't get pulled, they would not have won that national championship.
Oh, they wouldn't have won the national championship. But my point being is that Jalen Hurts' story is awesome. He deserves an immense amount of credit for the
Yeah,
teammate
no, I don't
he
not
was.
like him.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Like, can I finish my point?
I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying.
My bad, I got excited.
My point being is that we're celebrating it like he came back from this unbelievable downtrodden story. No, he came back from being benched. That's great. But that doesn't mean that we have to look at what he did in a different light than what it really was. And also, who cares? Let's have 5 people up there. If we know the dude's not going to win it anyways, let's just have a 5th guy up there.
I don't get it.
I don't know. My last point about the Heisman.
And you're sitting up there, too. You got Reggie Bush up there. You got Charles Woodson up there.
Reggie Bush was up there because he got his Heisman revoked.
No, well, he was there. He was somewhere. I saw Reggie somewhere this weekend.
See, that makes no sense to me. That's a whole nother
Tebow was up there.
revoking things.
Tebow was up there.
Well, yeah, because he's a former Heisman Trophy winner. That they all come back. My last point about the Heisman, though, and this is no slight on Joe Burrow, because again, he outright deserved the award. He was the best player in college football this year.
Yes.
But it is only a quarterback award.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's only a quarterback. That is, to me, the heart of the issue. The fact that Chase Young got up to the stage and was a nominee, to me, was the biggest story, because it's like,
Me
oh my
too.
God,
No one talked about him.
No one.
No
And he
one
didn't
talked
even
about it.
play.
You're telling-
he was suspended for 3 games.
Dude, and you got 2 guys from Ohio State up there.
2.
Come on.
I know.
Come on.
I
You know,
know.
you've already slighted 75% of college football because of the playoff
Yes.
and the big Power 5 conferences.
Yes.
This is your opportunity
Yep.
to showcase the entire thing.
Yes. And the best
And
players.
what, you think I wanted to tune in on Thursday night when you did your award show?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Come on.
No, I don't. I think we have the same feelings on the college football landscape.
Yeah.
So that's your Heisman Trophy report, hopefully brought to you by somebody sooner rather than later.
Joe Burrow, first round overall pick,
I'm
2020.
gonna release this information now because I am super pumped about it, and we're getting some good responses on the Facebook. People are chiming in. We're about to go to the Instagram. I'm yacked up like I always am. Super stoked as I always am.
Yacked up like Josh Gordon.
Next. Oh God. Next week. Okay. December 23rd. That's confirmed. That's a date on the calendar. That is a Monday next week. At roughly 7:15 p.m., okay, Cole Tracy, okay, the kicker for Louisiana State University, a.k.a. LSU, during the 2018 season, some of you may remember him as the Division II kicker that played for Assumption College, that transferred to LSU and kicked the game-winning field goal against Auburn last year, which blew up his spotlight. Cole Tracy's going to come on the Rome show next week. He's going to call in.
I'm pumped.
And we're going to talk to Cole Tracy. He actually got an invite to the XFL draft, which is super cool.
Very cool.
He is like the NCAA's all-time leader in like points and kicks made and a whole bunch of other stats that we're going to tweet out over the next week in preparation for the Cole Tracy interview. So you need to tune in every Monday, but you especially need to tune in next Monday because some cool insight into playing in the SEC, playing at LSU, playing for Ed Orgeron, Joe Burrows, because that was the quarterback at LSU last year as well, is going to come your way next week when Cole Tracy comes onto the Rome show. So I'm pumped about that.
Me too. Yeah, I heard Cole and Joe are tight too. So
Yeah, boys. Maybe Joe Burrows will come on the show.
I just want to know if it's mandatory when you go to kicker school that if you kick a game-winning field goal, you have to sprint off the field into the locker room.
No. Do you know why I think it's mandatory?
Why?
Because if they get dogpiled, they're going to break all their bones. Like, oh, no, don't dogpile the kicker. There's not enough good kicking. We can't hurt that guy.
That's why he had to say no to the XFL. He doesn't know how to do a pile drive.
Yeah, the game starts off by that, yeah. By the way, do you like our Christmas tree?
I absolutely love the Christmas tree.
I think it's a really nice add-on to the studio. We haven't
it's-
mentioned it yet, but
It's flavorful.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I think we need to,
Got fake snow on it.
the Tighten the Lug Nuts 360 Management Services sign is great and all. But I really like that Christmas tree. I think we need to bring something in for flavor every week like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
All right, here's the deal. The fans wrote in. The people are all excited.
Ooh, are we doing Instagram stuff now?
We're going to do some Instagram stuff now. Okay, we got about 7 minutes left on this show. All right. Well, I put up a few polls last night. I know you respond to them. We got to teach you a little bit about the Instagram. We'll get there.
It's not
okay?
easy.
A
Stories
lot.
flash quickly.
They do. A lot of my Instagramming was tailored towards the NFC East, rightfully so. We went to the Dolphins Giants game. It was
Awesome.
okay. It was more fun for the company than necessarily the football we
no
watched.
doubt.
But the Eli Manning stuff was cool.
It was.
So it prompted me to ask the people this. Was that Eli Manning's last start in the NFL? Okay. Of 75 people that tuned in on the poll, 54 of them said no.
I think I might agree with him.
Really?
And I said yes.
So the choices for everyone that maybe didn't see the Instagram poll: yes, no, Week 17 versus Philly, he plays next year. Now, no and he plays next year are kind of essentially the same thing, because if you say no, it's not his last start, then that means he probably does play next year.
Yeah.
Or they really are thinking that Daniel Jones is hurt.
Or they just might shut him down.
That might be
Or they're more worried about Saquon than they are Daniel Jones.
I just don't see Eli Manning playing football next year.
No, I don't think he's playing next year either. Else the Manning family wouldn't have been at the Monday night game, or his wife and kids wouldn't have been there yesterday if they didn't know he was going to retire. Obviously, there hasn't been an official announcement, but you got to think that
They know more than we know.
He
obviously.
has publicly said that he does not want to be a backup.
Right, and he said he doesn't want to be a coach either, because that's how essentially bored he is not playing.
Well, he is a coach already. He does the Manning Passing Academy.
That's a good point.
He's coached Daniel Jones all year.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Well, I don't know, because and Mom has this theory that Daniel Jones it's a fallacy that he's hurt.
I would agree with her.
Yeah,
and I would also say that I think a lot is going to depend on if the Eagles win this week.
Because if they have a chance to knock him out of the playoffs, you start Eli Manning?
I think that ruining the Eagles' season in Week 17 is more important than any draft status.
Okay, then my next question, though, is if that's
at least
the
it
case,
is to me.
Fair. I think that is to any Giants fan, though.
Right? It's got to be important, especially based on where you're at as an organization. Like you want to win,
and it's what you just said about Navy Army. It's not about your records. It's about you want to beat that team.
It can't be about draft picks for the next 2 weeks, unfortunately. I know. You know, today's fan is all about, we got to play for the draft and we got to tank. Like,
I disagree.
What kind of fan are you when you sit and publicly say, I want my team to lose?
No, see, and I'm going through it with the Dolphins right now. Everyone's like, oh, man, you don't want the Dolphins to be. Rube, my sister says she's trying to call in. I don't know if we're getting that or not. If you could see if the phone line is open. I was watching the Dolphins yesterday at Giant Stadium, and I want them to win the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's better for them to win a few games. These young guys, they get better, they learn. And you know what? Yeah, maybe you only win 4 games, you still have a high draft pick, and those dudes got better and are ready to be a better football team next year.
Yeah.
To continue on the topic. Who wins the NFC East? The people voted. 51%. Dallas Cowboys. Oh, sounds like we got a caller. 49%. Eagles. Caller, who's on the line?
Hello.
What's up?
Hello.
You're on the Rome Show, Gene.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you. You're on the show.
Oh, I'm up.
You're on.
Is that live? What's happening? I got 4 cheer coaches here. We're just listening to your show.
What is
cheerleading?
up?
Yeah.
Are we NJ All Stars?
How are you talking but not talking on the show?
What do you mean? How am I talking but not talking?
Oh, it's delayed.
Oh,
just listen to us on the phone. Don't try and listen to us on the screen.
Yeah, you can't do both. It's not possible, because in case anyone comes on here and starts saying some reckless stuff, I can delete it.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing?
Well, we are talking on a live radio show that you're on right now.
Talking about how the Eagles have
I
no
was
chance
wondering
in
if
the
you
playoffs.
could use your live radio show as a way to get me a date.
And who are we speaking to?
This is Amanda, the owner of Jersey All-Stars.
My name is Amanda. I'm 31 years old, currently single.
Okay, Amanda, so you're 31 years old, and which dating apps are you on?
Cheerleadersonly.com.
Bumble, Tinder, Hinge.
Here's what we're going to do, Amanda, okay? Because we broadcast live on Facebook, and we have like 1,000 people that watch this show. We need you to get here so we could see your face. The nice gentleman out there that might want to date you
Perfect.
can see your face. They can get to know your personality.
We could do a total,
Amanda, you have to do a standing back tuck in order to be on the show.
That's it. That's it, though. Standing back tuck.
What if I just pull a really strong lib?
Yeah.
The classic cheer move.
I'm 5'2". I'm a brunette and I have brown eyes.
She's really going
I'm
with this.
physically fit
And she owns her own business.
and I own my own business and I'm motivated.
Any chance you use ADP for payroll?
I don't know. I don't know. Do you use ADP for payroll?
Oh, no, that's not. We don't.
Our producer Ruben would like to know if this is a dating show now.
Sports dating. Sport
we
dating.
just wanted to call it and say, hey, that we were watching.
Well, we really appreciate it, but Amanda, you are more than welcome in the studio anytime, and we will work on the date.
I will be there.
You should.
I
You
am
should.
dead serious.
I
So
got.
my fiance left me about 2 months ago.
Wow,
God, this is
is
getting
serious.
This could be a great way for me to move on.
Well, if we here at the Rome Show can help you, we 100%
We would
will.
love to help
We
you.
would love to help.
And she owns her own business of cheerleading.
Feel free to look me up on Facebook.
It can double up sports.
We
and
can look.
dating.
We can look you up on Facebook if you follow us at the Rome Show.
Boom.
I'm done.
And she's following
Listen,
you
All
right
right.
now.
we would love to
My
keep
Facebook
going, but
picture.
unfortunately, we only pay for an hour.
Would I have to follow?
We're in between teams
All right,
right now,
what-
so we're hanging
what do
out.
I-
Well, very nice. We have to go though, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
That's a
time.
real thing.
We have to
Oh,
Mike
all right,
Francesa
all
you
right.
right
All
now.
Unfortunately,
I'll
have to
follow
go.
you.
Thank you for calling.
All right. Bye. Love you.
Bye. Love you. All right, here's the deal. We're gonna get out of here, but I have to give you. Should I give them the stat or should I wait for the G line till next week?
No, tell them now.
Okay, here's the deal. We did some research, okay? The Giants, okay, had an avid fan screaming at the G line, which is their drum line, in the parking lot saying that the Giants have not been good since the G line was created at the New York Football Giants. This is your Roma Lyrics.
And by the way, if Patrick Reeves' caddy was there, he would have fought.
He would have fought this
because it was
guy.
such an aggressive taunt.
Very aggressive. Well, we went back in the history of the New York Giants franchise and found out the G line started in 2012. Well, since the G line started, the New York Giants are 26 games under 500 at 50-76. That's good for a 397 win percentage, and they have one playoff appearance.
So Nick Cannon, we're gonna have to go ahead and ask you to take your drum line and go on home.
And you're going to have to go on home because you are the reason the Giants stink. This is the Rome Show. That's the December 16th edition. I am Andrew Romanella. That is Rocky Romanella. We appreciate the fans, the call-ins, the dating service that now apparently the Rome Show has started. All of it will be back next week. Cole Tracy, LSU former kicker, on the Rome Show.
Peace out.
Emo. You be the judge. Do this look like work to you? Nah. Looking at the lights like it's all of this for me. Everyone tonight is here. All of this for me. Hands in the air, yeah. All of this for me. Bottles over here. All of this for me.